Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. So, as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, let's see who we have up in this chat. Hold on, I'm trying to go live on Instagram at the same time. All right. So anyway, as I was saying, hello Lisa, Juju, Cherie, Tracy, Mr. Hotel said the undisputed queen in chat is back. Absolutely. Okay, Capricorn said hashtag buy wig. All right, so let's get ready to get into it. I see you, Cherie, beloved. Shout out, hey Brandon. WSM Junior. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. So let's go ahead and get ready to get into it. Now, before I get started on my commentary, I just have a little something I want to say. Brandon says, you looking good in those colors, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Thank you. All right. And so anyway, Dan says hashtag buy wig. All right. Let's get the hashtags buy wig up in the chat. All right. So anyway, with that all being said, without further ado, hold on. Let me check something real quick, beloveds. Before I get started on my commentary, I want to talk about a comment that I saw in my chat just a moment ago. Or a few moments ago. Hold on. Let me pull up something real quick. In the meantime, in between time, everybody please make sure that you like and share. Come in liking and sharing. Don't forget to follow the Queen on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. All right. So with that all being said, hold on. Oh, okay, honey. So anyway, with that all being said, let me cut this off real quick. Okay, so honey, yeah, let me get into it. It's hey, Lawrence, beloved. Okay, so now listen to this. So before I got started, someone was already in my chat, clearly mad. I love you, right? Black love always. Okay, someone was in my chat, clearly pressed. Not that I care, mind you, but someone was in my chat clearly pressed because I'm going in on wig again. And they said the Queen was jealous. So let me tell you something. Said I was hating, I was jealous, da da da, whatever. Here's the thing. That story and narrative is clearly getting old. Okay, that's clearly getting old. Listen, let me just say this. I'm not the one who's the whole hater, honey. Wig is the hater. Wig is the hater. That's why she sent people to flag channels. Okay, my channel just got off a ban last week, and I'm quite sure Wig had a little hand in that. And not to mention, she's done this numerous of times before. Now, even if I was jealous, as I've said before, let's just say if I am, what if I am hating on Wig? Let's just say, what if I am hating? What you gonna do about it, okay? And second of all, these receipts that I'm dropping are undisputed. Because what you can't do, what you can't say, is that I lied about anything I said about Wig, okay? So miss me with it. Unless you got receipts to dispel, disprove anything that I have said, you need to sit down somewhere with your funny looking self, as Wig would say. All right? Y'all over there, y'all still mad after all the receipts I've dropped on Wig, and I have so many more. It's only the beginning, clearly. But with that all being said, I find it so interesting that these people are still trying to paint that sad little old narrative. I've had numerous guests on my show who said the same things I've said about Wig, and who also exposed the fact that she's still doing fraudulent things. Only this way she's doing legal cons, okay? Not the kind that can get her sent back to the state pen. And at the end of the day, I've also shown how she's copied my works. So I'm not the one who's jealous of it. Y'all are so funny. Y'all need to quit playing with the Queen, honey. Are y'all mad? Are y'all mad? Are y'all mad? Are y'all mad? It's hilarious, beloved. All right? As they can see, I'm unbothered, honey, because I'm not the one getting that ever-loving, everlasting work. All right? So, with that all being said, let's get into the commentary. They're going to learn very soon, Queen. Yes, listen, here's what they need to realize, honey. Every time I see somebody in my chats, on my comment section, on any of my channels, on my Twitter, talking trash about me hating on Wig, honey, which is clearly all nefarious and clearly a lie. Every time I see y'all doing that, all y'all doing is making it worse for Wig, because that's just going to make the Queen go that much harder. Now, I could have left Wig alone by now. I clearly could have left Wig alone by now. But you see, the fact that I know her people that are drinking the Kool-Aid are upset, butthurt, bent out of shape, mad, and all that. Well, being petty as I am, you know, the Queen never misses an opportunity to give Wig that work. So it is what it is. Okay, mad all you want. I don't care. She's still going to get this work, period. You can't shut me up. It's not going to stop. In fact, you're only making it worse, okay? You know what I know. You sit down somewhere. Yes, the gig is up, wig. Yes. All right, I mean, I absolutely cannot. So listen, today I'm going to be making a contrast. I'm going to be showing the similarities in what Wig did with her little fraudulent schemes and Jamila T. Davis, okay? The woman who was known as the Pink Wolf of Wall Street. So let's get into it. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this presentation. Everyone get those likes up, please. Like and share. Now I want y'all to pay attention. I'm going to play this video that's going to give us some background on Jamila's story. We already know Wig's story, nefarious as it is. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share.
2008, just weeks before Lehman Brothers collapsed. Then U.S. Attorney Chris Christie, now NJ governor and presidential hopeful, announced in a press release long prison terms for 2 women for their roles in orchestrating a mortgage fraud scheme to defraud Lehman Brothers Bank of more than $14 million. One of those women was Jamila Davis of Queens Village, NY, who was sentenced by U.S. District Judge Jose L. Linares to 151 months, 12.5 years, in prison after being convicted in a New Jersey federal court. Christie would say of these sentences, "This is a long prison sentence that appropriately matches the breadth and complexity of the fraud committed." Emphasis added by me. The fact is, Davis's fraud was neither broad nor complex. She was involved in a circle including a real estate agent, a mortgage broker, a corrupt real estate attorney and straw buyers to get loans on 7 upscale New Jersey homes. While that looks like a crime now, it was a common practice in the late 90s and early 2000s when straw buyers were known as investors, who were flipping real estate properties for big profits. Davis, an African-American woman who was 25 years old in 2002, had been a successful real estate broker and quickly became adept at helping those with poor credit get into homes of their dreams. Based in New Jersey, she catered to high-profile athletes, hip-hop artists and entertainers. One of those was Akinele Adams, a rapper known for his song, "Put It in Your Mouth." Adams had identified a 4,300 square feet home in Cresskill, NJ that was listed for $1.7 million but had negotiated it down to $1.1 million. Adams wanted to close the deal and an appraisal was conducted. The appraisal came back at $2.2 million, double the purchase price. This was going to profitable deal for Adams. However, Adams would back out of the deal in favor of another property. Not wanting to miss out on this real estate arbitrage, Davis arranged to buy the property herself, but her credit, like that her clients', was poor. She approached Nicholas Infantino, a mortgage broker who was feeding mortgages to Aurora Loan Services, then an affiliated mortgage initiator for Lehman Brothers Bank. Infantino recommended finding a buyer, a straw buyer, with better credit and expressed confidence that the deal would close quickly. Davis did just that, then created some fake pay stubs, bank statements and other documentation. Davis feared the forged records were so shoddy that they would never pass inspection, but Infantino assured her that they were sufficient. The phony bank statements were never verified and the employer of the straw buyer, Drama Entertainment, did not even exist. Weeks after the documentation was provided to Aurora, a loan for $1.5 million was given against the property, and Davis's first deal was in the bag.
Okay, so there you all have it. That's just to give you a little overview of why Jamila T. Davis went to prison. And here's the thing, that was just one of the times she did that. But I find it interesting because you see, she did exactly what Wig was doing. And Wig said that she was framed by the government, no less. No, she wasn't framed. She did exactly what that woman did. Okay, they talked about the fraudulent tax forms, the fraudulent check stubs, a job that actually didn't even exist. The company that the person was alleged to have worked for didn't even exist. And the reason they would use a straw buyer, as they said, is because Jamila T. Davis, her credit was shoddy. Now, when she realized how much money she was going to get, and the NFL player or basketball player, he decided to take another deal. Now, I want you to pay attention because they said that the house was appraised at $2.2 million, I believe, which was double what it was actually worth. And that's what the same thing Wig was doing. They had these appraisers come in and increase the inflate the cost of the properties so that Wig could get all that money back when she went to the closing. You see, that's called upfront money. Okay, so that's what it is. And this is all, about greed. And pay attention, Jamila was doing this right around the same time that Wig was doing it. So there was a lot of mortgage fraud going on at the time. So listen, I want you all to hear what Jamila said in an interview. Now, I'm not going to show this on the screen because this is not my video, but I will let you all hear the audio of what she said about what she did. Okay, so listen up.
So I owned a 3-family property in Brooklyn on Covert Street. Mm-hmm. And that from there, I kind of learned the game, and I actually sold that property. I bought it for like $200,000, and I sold it for close to $4, and I thought I did something. That property today is worth about $2 million if I would have held on to it, right? Wow. So I learned the power of how real estate could be the savings account for a lot of Black folks that don't really, earn that much. You could use this and pay it off, and it could be something that creates a legacy for your family. So that's how I got in, and then I just took it to another level. So again, I've kind of always been smart, learning, seeing what was around me, but then again, I didn't have the right method because no one ever trained me. I never had formal training. So I kind of just did what I knew how to do, and I cut some corners, and I took what you call some shortcuts, which ended up kind of ruining my life because that landed to a decade-plus sentence in federal prison. So, today, again, I try to arm people with information so that they don't have to take shortcuts and that they can win the right way now.
Okay. How exactly did you land in prison? What was your crime? And where in your story did this crime occur? Because from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem too bad. You're in credit, in using your words.
I was a Robin Hood. I was helping Black people get opportunities that they were normally closed out of. However, I wasn't doing it the right way. So it set me up for the kill. First of all, I became very, very, very influential and pretty wealthy quick. So that gains envy. So anybody listening, anytime you get something quick and you gain envy of folks are waiting for you to fall down. So people will set you up, mess you up because you didn't get it the right way. So it doesn't even make sense to do it that way, especially if you're in the limelight. It goes back to like the BMF case, right? They're probably some of the pioneers in our time of drug lords, but they were showing and flashy and everybody's seen. Eventually you setting yourself up if you're not doing things right and you being out there being flashy. And I was super flashy. I had every car, all the spinning rims on cars when the spree welds was in, all the jewelry, all the dudes. Like it was ridiculous. So people was watching me and I had a lot of envy. And then I was dealing with this mortgage broker who caught the attention of the feds because he was doing the wrong thing. And one thing led to another thing. And when they started watching me and they saw the cars and the influence and all the stuff and this young girl, they felt something was wrong. And when the feds come, even if something ain't wrong, if they keep fishing, they're going to find something. And that's what happened. Long story short, me taking shortcuts in the financing, the mortgage broker had to hook up at Lehman Brothers Bank. And so we was getting the mortgages through an inside connect, pushing them through when our people didn't actually qualify. So that was the crime. The crime was fake paperwork, fake pay stubs and W-2s and pushing people in places and spaces that they didn't really belong. And doing that was technically bank fraud. And so I eventually got convicted of conspiracy, 7 counts of conspiracy to bank fraud and bank fraud. I owned over $30 million worth of properties between Alpine and Saddle River, New Jersey, which is two of the most prominent places in New Jersey where you got Diddy and Russell Simmons and
Okay, so y'all heard that. Now I want y'all to pay attention because did y'all hear what she said about the feds? That's pertinent because Wig continues to lie and say that the feds set her up as if to say they framed her. That's how she's trying to paint that narrative. But you heard what she said. She said when the feds come, and if there even isn't nothing, if they start looking long enough, they're going to find something. Okay, so they don't have to set you up. They find these things. And at the end of the day, another thing she said Well, she talked about how she was making all the fake documents and all that stuff. And see, that's why Wig is trying to say that the documents I showed were fake. Because she's an expert at faking documents, I believe. Because that's one of the things that she did in her con game. But the difference between Wig and Jamila, but hold on, let me say this too. One thing about Jamila, she says that she was Robin Hood. She was helping Black people get into places that they never would have been able to get into. Well, at the end of the day, she was doing that, but she wasn't no Robin Hood. Because see, Robin Hood took from the rich and gave to the poor. She was giving to herself. I want you to pay attention because often these people that prey upon their own Black people, they try to turn it around and flip the script and act as though they were doing us a favor. She was not being no Robin Hood. What she was doing was using Black people and promising them some cash, which she knew likely many of them needed, and getting them to be straw buyers because her credit was shot. And so then they would go ahead and get the homes or properties in their names for her so she could get all that upfront money. And of course, it was inflated by the appraiser. So she got double, the properties were usually appraised at almost double what they were actually worth. So she was fed in her own pockets. Now, here's the problem. When these are Black people that she got to be the straw buyers, as I told you before, when they couldn't keep up the payments on those costly mortgages, those homes went into foreclosures. And that's how the feds start looking into you because the finance company, the bank, they start looking into it. You see, she said the paperwork was shoddy. She didn't think it was going to go through. Right on their first video, they said she didn't think it would go through, but the guy named Infantino assured her that it would. Well, it likely did because they don't look at it everything with a fine-tooth comb. Because you see, the banks want to sell these properties. They want to give people loans because that's money for them. But when they start looking is when their money is not coming in, when you start missing those payments on the mortgages. Now they're going to start looking at that shoddy paperwork and see that it's all just a bunch of BS. And that's what causes the downfall. Now, also pay attention. They said she had a appraiser, a mortgage broker, and other people that were working with her, just like with Wig. You see, you don't do mortgage fraud by yourself. You have to have a whole group of accomplices that help you engage in these fraudulent activities. So there's no such thing as the Fed setting you up, framing you for mortgage fraud, bank fraud, wire fraud, unless, or when there was no other people involved, okay? Unless all of these people were set up, which is highly unlikely and clearly nefarious, okay? It doesn't even make sense. But here's the difference. Here's the difference between her and Wig. Now, when Jamila got out of prison, she turned her life around. She has admitted that she's done these things. I don't know if she's apologized, but I wasn't able to find that. I did look, but she has at least admitted to doing these things. Now, though she hasn't fully said the reason or given a good reason as far as I'm concerned about why she did it, because her being Robin Hood, honey, that's just not it, okay? She was fed in her own pockets and using those Black people to help her do so. And knowing that they likely couldn't afford the homes that she was even putting them in because they had fake check stubs and all that. So I'm just saying. But she did at least admit that she did it. She's not out here lying, saying that she was set up. But here's the thing. She said also the same thing that Wig said. She said that people were jealous of her. And when you start getting all this money so fast, that causes envy. And that's true in many cases. Now, the thing is this, though. She said when you start getting all this money and you start being flashy, people will set you up because they're watching you. So if you're not doing it the right way. Well, here's the thing. Those people didn't set her up, per se. Now, someone could have snitched, I don't know, but she said it was the mortgage broker that got her in trouble. But here's the thing, even if someone did snitch, they wouldn't have had anything to snitch about had she not been doing what she was doing, okay? So that's what that was. And at the end of the day, when Wig sits there and says she was set up by the feds, well, here's the thing. The feds will set you up. And I don't mean frame you. I mean that if they know you're doing something illegal, they'll sit back and watch, and they will set you up and allow you. And here's the thing I want you to pay attention to. They'll set you up as far as allowing you to keep doing what you're doing while they sit back and watch. You see, that's why they often investigate their cases for years, because they want to sit there and let you keep doing it. Because the more you do it, the more evidence they will have against you. They could come and lock you up as soon as they hear about it. But they don't do that. They sit back and wait because they're going to make sure that they have all of their ducks in a row. Okay, that's how that goes. Yes, it's Felicia says the feds will watch you for years. They absolutely will. And when you think that it's over, here they come knocking on your door with warrants, honey, to take you on down. So pay attention. Now, and here's another thing. This real estate attorney in New York stole millions from clients and has since been disbarred. And there's another story that came out yesterday. It made the headline news on the New York Times. And this is what they say. Now I want y'all to listen to this because he did this. This is a Chad. This is a Chad that did this. And he did this to black people. Pay attention. Let me tell y'all what he did. And so over the past dozen years, Sanford Solney has built a New York real estate empire, snatching up small real estate buildings across the city that churn out hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent. Now, his portfolio would be enviable, but for one thing. You see, much of it, prosecutors and homeowners contend, was stolen. In criminal charges and lawsuits, they have accused him of fraud, offering to help homeowners facing foreclosure by arranging to pay off their mortgages, while actually tricking them into signing over their buildings at bargain basement prices. In nearly every case, the mortgage was never paid, leaving the homeowner with no property, but yet a pile of debts. Now, this is what they say. Isn't that something? And mind you, like I said, these were black folks. Now, the practice is known as deed theft. Okay? As city and state officials promised to crack down on it, they honed in on Mr. Solney. The Brooklyn district attorney, whose office has charged him with taking the homes of 7 families, called his behavior despicable. They say in Queens, prosecutors accused Mr. Solney and his associates of cheating 10 people out of their properties. The court appointed a monitor to scrutinize all of his transactions. That means go through them with a fine-tooth comb. Now, which they would likely not have done had he not been being so greedy. And then people started complaining and all that. But an examination by the New York Times has found that not only did is Mr. Solney still profiting from homes under dispute, city agencies are contributing to his earnings by subsidizing the rents at some of his properties. Now, his case exemplifies the slow and stumbling fight against deed theft, which often targets immigrants and Blacks and Latino homeowners. Despite repeated pledges from the New York State Attorney General and legislature to curtail this fraud, only a small fraction of thousands of complaints has ever even been prosecuted. Homeowners stripped of their most significant assets, they're then left to engage in long and expensive fights to try to reclaim their properties in civil court. Now, that's the same thing Wig did. That's the same thing Wig did as far as not the deed theft, but as far as the person people having to sue her in civil court. Remember, Archbishop Josita C. Williams, she tried to sue them in civil court. Okay, her case didn't go through, but she tried to sue them in civil court too. And remember, she had to file the lawsuit forma pauperis, which means that she was so broke and poor at that time, she couldn't even afford to pay for the lawsuit or any of that. So the court let her proceed without it. Okay, so pay attention, honey, at the nefariousness of it all. And this is what happens to Black people every day in this country. It's absolutely a problem. Now, they say a close review of Mr. Solney's holdings and transactions, drawing on housing court cases, lawsuits, city property records, and interviews, reveals a long history, a long record of questionable dealings, and a largely ineffective government response. Over more than a decade, Mr. Solney and companies like him, or they linked to him, took ownership of at least 140 properties. This is what the Times found. Now, they say former owners of 40 of those buildings, which include a coveted brownstone in gentrifying Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, a 3-story apartment building near Rockaway Beach, and a suburban craftsman-style home with a lawn in Rosedale, Queens. They have all been claimed. These people have all claimed they were victims of deed theft. Civil and criminal court records show this. And this is something that they've always done to Black people, honey. Trick Black people out of their property. So low down and dirty. Now, even while Mr. Solney was under the eye of a monitor, A company controlled by him paid a Brooklyn woman $5,000 for a home worth about 100 times that much, and then left her with the debts. And this is all according to city property records. They say through a web of shell companies, let's pay attention. I showed you all a list of all those companies that were named the Crow's Nest, the Crow's Daycare, the Crow's LLC. I mean, it was numerous named under Crow. Okay, these people often use shell companies, right? Now, through a web of shell companies, Mr. Solney still owns 19 homes whose owners he has been accused of defrauding. Now, here's the thing. I find it interesting. 19 must be the magic number because 19 is exactly the amount that Wig had. Pay attention. And so he collects rent from tenants he installed in many of them, according to court filings and city records and interviews. As criminal charges against Mr. Solney have piled up, city agencies have paid the rent of tenants at some of these properties through affordable housing vouchers. Just robbing people blind, honey. And they say, how does the system work for him and not us? This is what Janet Bruce, a retired home health aide from Guyana, this is what she said in the court filings. That Mr. Solney walked into her home in Flatbush, Brooklyn, back in 2014 with a stack of paper and a promise to rescue her and her husband from foreclosure. He gave the couple $14,000, but never even bothered to pay off their mortgage. He walked out as the owner of a building now worth about $900,000. Miss Bruce, age 69, an elderly Black woman. I want y'all to pay attention. This is what really gets me because they prey on elderly Black folk very often. Now, she has sued Mr. Solney. The transaction is also part of the criminal case in Brooklyn. Just low down and dirty, leaving people in their golden years out here on the streets to fend for themselves. And after they worked all this time to try to own a house, and he comes and takes it through fraudulent practices. Now, from July of 2014 through February of this year, there were more than 3,350 complaints of deed theft in New York City, almost half of which were in Brooklyn, according to the City Department of Finance. Now, the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office brought charges in 27 of those cases since 2014. They say it just makes you wonder how seriously we as a society and our criminal justice system take white-collar crime that actually victimizes people. Let me say that again, victimizes people, all right? Now, a lawyer for Mr. Solney declined to answer specific questions from the Times, citing the open criminal case in Brooklyn. They say the fact that these clients would lose their homes and be a foregone conclusion had been a foregone conclusion long before they ever met Mr. Solney. That's what his attorney said. Now, when they sought his assistance with managing that unfortunate and complex reality, these clients executed documents that clearly conveyed their properties to Mr. Solney. Deed fraud complaints in New York City have fallen from a peak of 665 in 2014 to 154 last year. But those numbers mask what could be a looming surge now that protections against foreclosure that were put in place during the pandemic have all expired. They say you have a very high number of homeowners that are in distress, and real estate in New York has never been more valuable. And Ivy Perez, the senior policy and research manager for the Center of New York City Neighborhoods and Affordable Housing Profits, says that is a potent combination for scammers. All right. And this is also said, I mean, look at this. This is Black people. Let me show you a picture of this woman who lost everything. A 69-year-old woman. This is also sad and deplorable. If it's one thing I can't stand, and you all know that I always tell you this, anyone who targets and victimizes the elderly and children. That's her right there. That's her right there. That woman is probably going to be homeless on the streets, honey. This is what the devils do. They don't care as long as they fatten their pockets. So they said deed theft takes different forms. But Mr. Solney is accused of one of the most common forms of it. This fraud preys on people who are in danger of losing their homes, information that is easily obtainable in real estate databases. Some buyers often recruit local residents to find people they know who are in financial trouble. The homeowners are then told that they qualify for something called a short sale, a deal in which the lender settles for less than the amount owed on the mortgage. Now, the owners already resigned to losing their properties to foreclosure and confused by a mountain of paperwork, believe the deal will at least relieve them of their debt and give them a small amount of cash. So they fall for it. These people come in acting as though they're really doing them a favor, when all they're doing is making the situation much worse. Now, in reality, the documents they sign transfer ownership of the building while still leaving the homeowners responsible for the debt. The person committing the fraud brings in tenants and collects rent, sometimes for years, until the banks or other lenders finally foreclose on the property. Miss Bruce fell behind on her mortgage payments in 2013 after her husband James, a plan examiner for the Department of Buildings, had a stroke. So I want y'all to pay attention to how low down and dirty this attorney was. Now, he did this to a black woman, 69 years old. Her husband had a stroke. So he's disabled and she's having to take care of him. And so that's probably what got them into some of the financial bind that they were in. He comes along and tells them, hey, True Royal family, he comes along and tells them that I'm going to give you like $14,000 and then I'll take the property off of your hands and you won't have any more debt. But he doesn't pay anything on it and then, in fact, goes and rents it out. And here's the thing. That's similar to what Wig was doing too, because I showed you all the receipts where they said that either herself or someone she got was breaking into those homes and rekeying the locks and then renting those properties out when they were already in foreclosure. Another thing is he was targeting people whose homes were already in foreclosure. Well, we already know that Wig is an expert on foreclosure law because in the documents, they absolutely said that she knew more about foreclosure law than most of the attorneys who come to court for those situations. Okay, so she was very skilled at what she was doing. And likely so, because at the end of the day, having those properties under foreclosure, she knew how to fight the system so that she could stay in those homes and so that she could keep renting out those homes, if that's what she was doing, as long as possible. Before they could just come and snatch it up and take them up out of there. Okay? Yes, the craft is real. It's just also nefarious, honey. I'm telling you. And like I said, usually elderly black people are the ones that fall prey to this. Okay? Usually it's elderly black people. And so now listen to this. So here's another devil who did something like this. His name is, this is another New York real estate lawyer who stole millions from clients and has been disbarred. They say Michael Kossoff has admitted to stealing millions in clients' funds. He pleaded guilty to criminal charges back in December, and he's currently awaiting trial. Now, attorney regulators in New York have disbarred him after the real estate lawyer pleaded guilty in December. Kossoff, the owner of the now defunct Kossoff PLLC law firm, pleaded guilty in New York County Supreme Court to charges of grand larceny in the first, second, and third degrees, and scheming to defraud in the first degree. Prosecutors say Kossoff misappropriated more than $14.6 million from at least 35 people and companies, which he admitted to in his plea agreement. Okay? In his plea agreement. I want y'all to pay attention because here's the funny part. Wig sat there and said the documents I showed were false. But I told y'all, according to the documents, she took a plea agreement. If you take a plea agreement, you admitted guilt to something. That's why it's called a plea agreement. You plead to something and then they give you an agreement to get a lesser sentence. So how is she going to sit up here and say the feds framed her, set her up and all that when she absolutely pled guilty? Or she didn't plead guilty, but she took a plea agreement. Or she pled guilty to something, right? She admitted to something. Wig, make it all make sense. I'm sure you cannot. Okay, so anyway, let me continue. So they say he admitted to this in his plea agreement. New York's appellate division, First Department, said in its Thursday order disbarring him. They say Walter Mack, who's Kossoff's criminal defense attorney, said in an email the official disbarment was anticipated as a result of his client's guilty plea, and Kossoff had tendered his resignation from the bar a year ago. So the New York appellate court said Kossoff did not reply to the court's attorney's grievance committee's motion to disbar him. He was a fixture, pay attention. Kossoff was a fixture of the New York real estate market. He began transferring funds from his clients' accounts in December of 2017, using the money to support another family business and personal expenses. That included spending an average of $16,000 monthly on personal credit card bills and $19,000 a month to rent a Manhattan luxury apartment, honey. Let me tell you something. Prosecutors said that Kossoff, who's 68 years old, will be sentenced in April and could have a prison term of 4.5 to 13.5 years. A spokesperson for the Manhattan District Attorney did not immediately respond to a request for comments. Oh, so nefarious, honey. Oh, so nefarious. And like I said, these people often target the elderly and specifically Black people. This is what they usually do. This is what they usually do. And I want to say this also. So he took a plea deal. I want to refresh in you all's memory that in those court records, in those documents that I showed, not only did it say that Wig took a plea deal, and that's why she got a lesser sentence, because she was facing, I believe, up to 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing is, when she went to a court to appeal her conviction, that's likely why they tossed it on out. Because how are you going to appeal when you already took a plea deal? You already copped the plea. How are you going to appeal? Right? Make it all make sense. And then she also said she had ineffective counsel. But remember, the man who was her attorney at the time when she filed all this, he wasn't her attorney when she got convicted. He was not her initial attorney. And also on a video on Fly Nubian Queen, and I believe the title of the video, so you all can go watch it for yourself. I believe the title is How I Survived in the Feds or something like that. But on that video, she actually said something about her attorneys signed fraudulent documents. So if they signed fraudulent documents, which is clearly illegal, and they would have been disbarred and locked up, I'm sure. But if they in fact signed fraudulent documents, my question is, when she went to appeal her conviction, why didn't she bring that up as a point of why she was appealing it? That her own attorneys turned against her and signed fraudulent documents. That's what she was saying. That's what she said in that video. So why would she say ineffective counsel? Because signing fraudulent documents is a whole lot worse than ineffective counsel. I'm just saying. So there goes that. And as for the people who say that she served her time and like this all in the past, yes, she absolutely has. But unlike Jamila T. Davis, Wig is still lying. She's not admitting it. And see, another thing I like about Jamila T. Davis is the fact that she actually is now teaching other Black people, young people specifically, how not to get caught up in that. How making fast cash is not always the best thing to do. And teaching them how to do it legally. Okay, instead of doing shortcuts, using fraudulent documents and straw buyers and all of that. So she's making herself now an asset to the community, where Wig is not. Wig is still denying and lying, and she's still doing other shady practices, such as selling the fake keys to your ancestry and all that, and those little ATM cards and a whole bunch of other things, honey, that I don't even care to mention. And so, anyway, also nefarious. Vince I Am said the fake wigs of hog wigs. I absolutely cannot. I absolutely cannot. But so here's the thing. Because simply because, hold on, beloveds. Hold on, beloveds. Let me pull something up real quick. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hold on. Let me find this real quick. Sandy said the wigs of our lives. Y'all are so nefarious, honey. So nefarious. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. King Account said there is a note in my book. Chantel said Vicki Dillard's ancestry DNA aligned with Jezebel. Well, I agree with that. That secret money in your womb, honey. And that sounded nefarious to me the first time I heard the title. So I'm just saying. C-Stan said wig and clavicles. You all are so low down, honey. I cannot. Wig lives matter, says SD. Honey, don't let me ever tick you all off because you all are not holding back. Terry said hashtag buy wig. Hold on. I'm still scrolling, beloveds. I'm trying to find something. Is this it right here? Hold on. Okay, so here we go. Hold on. Because this is what I find so interesting. Hold on. I'm scrolling. Oh, no, you didn't. R. Reed said bussy magic. I absolutely cannot. But with a P. Hold on. As much money as wig is out here scamming, she hasn't updated to a new wig, says Antoinette. Honey, could not. You all are so nefarious. Okay, so what I was looking for, I don't remember where I sent it. Hold on. Let me play this for y'all again, beloveds. Hold on, let me play this for y'all again.
But because I have so many supporters around the world, you guys keep tipping me off to all of these non-stop defamatory and slanderous chit-chatters. You get upset because I don't invoke their names. You must not know about me. You must not know about me. My history is one of activism where I was bringing civil cases against high-level officials in Wall Street. And today, my history is that I had to deal with an unjust trial and trumped up charges. And my records and my petitions say the same slowness. Because I have this legal history, first civil, then me dealing with my own unjust trial, you know that even when folks are defaming you, slandering you, putting misinformation out, or putting information that's out of context, chopping up audio.
I've heard enough. I just wanted to reiterate that. Because that's what Jamila T. Davis is not doing. She's not sitting up here lying, saying that it was all fraud, that it was all trumped up charges. Wig. Trumped up charges, beloved. Now, we saw that there were more than 50 witnesses. And I want y'all to pay attention because I told y'all she tried to compare herself to Bill Cosby, even though she claimed she wasn't trying to compare herself to Bill Cosby. But pay attention. Yes, she was. She said 60 people came out against Bill Cosby and they were all found to be lying. And some people probably thought because it was so many that they were telling the truth. Well, here's the thing, Wig. First of all, you're not Bill Cosby. Second of all, these people came out against Bill Cosby because they wanted money. Okay? They were after a bag. All right, and they know they can get a bag by lying on a black man, honey. That's what we have known to be the case in many scenarios. At the end of the day, what would be the significance or the benefit? I want y'all to pay attention. Walk with me while I make it all make sense. What would be the benefits for 50 people who testified against Vicki Dillard? What would be the benefit for them to get in court and testify against her? Was she going to pay them something? Were they suing her for money, for some type of harassment, assaults, or whatever? Like the women that alleged about Bill Cosby? No. So we're supposed to believe that 50 people came in the courtroom and committed perjury against her. But for what? To help the feds set her up? To help the feds with these so-called trumped up charges that she speaks of? Wig. Let me be very clear, beloved. The gig, or shall I say the wig, is up. And you brought this on yourself, all right? You brought this on yourself. You see, you've been a whole hater out here in these YouTube streets. You've been hating on me. You've been hating on Michi X. You've been hating on Jesse Bentonella, the ladies whose work you took. All right, you straight up jacked, swagger jacked her ancestral DNA codes. You did. And you didn't even do it right. You set up and sold those fake fraudulent keys for $27, trying to be slick and trying to put people under your spell of witchcraft with foolery and trying to use the 48 laws of power until you came across somebody like the queen who also knows about those 48 laws of power. So your bullshit don't work with me. So I exposed you because you left Black people, elderly Black people, Christian church folk, homeless on the streets, had to pack up their bags and move back from whence they came, honey. That's how she left many of them destitute. That woman couldn't even afford to file the lawsuit. Had to file it former pauperous. And so for all of y'all who's sitting up here trying to say that I'm hating on Wig, you can miss me with this. Because I don't care what y'all say. I'm going to keep giving her that ever-loving work, like she says. And by the way, don't forget that on Saturday, this Saturday coming, I'm going to have yet another witness on here to her nefariousness. Pay attention. Okay, this is someone who accuses Wig of lying on them. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention because we're going to show and prove how she loves to play the victim. Oh, and let me show y'all this. I almost forgot. Hold on, let me drop one more. Pay attention, beloveds. Hold on. I'm going to play the audio and not the whole video. But I want y'all to pay attention because if y'all don't think that Wig is an expert at playing the victim, y'all better wake up because she absolutely is. She's a whole pro at it. In fact, she's so good at it that she can give lessons on it, honey.
How many of you all remember that I suggested that we start a type of BIA, Black Intelligence?
Hold on, let me find it. Here it is right here. Pay attention.
So when you all get tripped up, it's a war strategy. The same way these Beckys have been successful with their Becky tears. I'm going to say this and I got to go because I got to start retraining some of you guys. Some of you all have forgotten the training I've given you over the years. So I'm having to give you refreshers. Y'all know when Becky and them and Karen are out in public, they go to crying. Lying, talking about a sister done hit them, or lying saying that a brother done did something to her. And I've taught you Black women in particular. We don't need to start swinging first with Becky when she starts crying. Where my day ones at? What have I taught you? That when Becky starts crying, what do we do next, sis? Come on now. I'm trying to see who's been paying attention to my teachings over the past years. What have I trained you to do? If you and Becky are at a bank somewhere and Becky lying, talking about the sister that did something, and the manager comes over and Becky starts crying, what did I teach you? Thank you. I see you. Y'all getting it right. Cry harder. Becky weaponizes her tears. The only time I need to start swinging is if my life is on the line. I'm fixing to use my other weapons first. Talk Black to me. What do you mean? And I gotta. If Becky is over there when the manager comes over to see what's wrong with her, to hear her lie. Carolyn Bryant, the liar who started this race war with our brother, she used Becky tears. Why y'all laughing? I ain't even said nothing yet. Y'all play too much. You in the bank and Becky lying to a manager? Here she go. Keisha, she jumped in front of me. I had my deposit already. And your sweet little teller over there called me first. And Keisha just, I'm telling you, she ran right in front of me and stepped on my shoes. My red bottoms. She did. What did I tell you to do next, sis?
Now I want y'all to pay attention to what she tells them to do next. Because this proves, like I've been saying, that Wig is an expert at playing the victim. She talks about Becky tears, but what about Vicki tears? She sat on her whole life and cried. Remember? When she said that man did that video talking about she was doing all that stuff to her children and messing around with Dr. Boyce and all that. Now, we all knew that was a lie. We knew it was all cap. And I, for one, believe she told that man to do it because where's the legal proceedings? She said she was going to have legal proceedings about that. We haven't heard anything else about it, honey. Okay, I think she absolutely told that man to do it because it was all lies. Why would somebody come out and make that foolish video accusing her of things that could easily be, proven to be false? But she sat up there and cried like she tells her people, trains her people to do. She trains them to play the victim. Pay attention.
As soon as the manager look at you, Keisha, before you open up your mouth to call her a lying wonder, you supposed to say, oh, I'm sorry. That's gonna throw off the balance in the room with Becky. Becky gonna be thrown, not thrown off. That's from the dictionary, not the dictionary. So Becky's gonna have to stop lying, crying, and she gonna look at you shocked because you threw her for a loop. So she gonna be side-eyeing you to us, and you're gonna start doing a funeral cry. You're gonna start with the New Prospect Missionary Baptist Church. I got the Holy Ghost cry. You're gonna start saying, you're gonna just glance over at her just a little bit. And when you glance, you're gonna ask the manager, can you please, can you please give me some tissue, please? Please. So he gonna reach for the tissue. You're gonna get the tissue. And you're gonna start screaming and crying and blowing your nose real, real hard into the tissue. Excuse me. I just can't. Watch this. It's, oh God, I've never been accused of something like this. And then after you do that, you're gonna ask him for a bottle of water.
I think we've heard enough to prove my point, honey. But let me say this. Hold up, beloveds. Because somebody I just blocked from my chat, clearly one of Wig's people drinking the Kool-Aid, or maybe Wig herself under an alias as usual. Somebody named Janet Brown just said, Queen, you always talking about that woman. What's underneath your head wrap? I'm about to show you what's underneath my head wrap, boo. All right? If you ever been on my Instagram, fool. All right? If you've been on my Instagram, under the second Instagram account that I have, Divine Goddess, all right? If you've been under there, you'd see that there is a picture of me without my head wrap on. I wear my head wraps because I choose to. And this is my crown. And we all know that I am a queen. And in fact, more specifically, the queen of receipts. But let me pull up this picture because I'm sure I have a picture in here. I am so sorry, honey, to waste you all's time, but y'all know I love to prove my points because that's how petty I am, honey. She did not say, you always talk about that woman, what's under your head wrap. Hair, my own hair, my locks. That's what's under here, fool. Okay, let me pull it all up, honey. I absolutely cannot. After all these receipts been dropped, they're still trying to hate on the queen. I mean, does that show that they're mad or not? I'm sorry. Make it all make sense. Make it all make sense, honey. They are clearly impressed. But you see, the queen is unbothered. The queen is unbothered at this point. Hold on. Let me pull it on up. Hold on. I have a lot of pictures in here, beloveds. Scrolling. I have a lot of stuff in my phone. Hold on. Because I know they did not. You know what? What I could do is just go to my Instagram and pull up that picture. That's what I can do. Hold on. Let me see if I find it real quick. Because I don't wear my hair without head wraps very often. I just don't. That's my choice. But honey, the queen ain't hardly bald-headed under here, if that's what you try to imply and insinuate. What you think these are weaved locks? What you think these locks aren't mine, growing out of my own scalp? I mean, I have not ever heard of such foolishness. Let me find this so I can get on off here, honey, because I have some guests in the house, and they are waiting to get into the kitchen so they can cook dinner. Hold on, beloveds. Queen still scrolling, honey. I absolutely cannot with these wiglets. These wiglets. That's what we're going to call wigs people from now on. The people still falling for wig. Here we go. There we go. There's the queen without her head wrap. And this was just from last year. Okay? This was just from last year. So y'all can miss me with it, haters. Let me send it to my email so I can show it on the screen, honey, because I know who they thought they was playing with. Okay, the Wiglets. That's what I'm going to call them from now on, honey. All right? Y'all mad or no? Y'all mad at the queen? I mean, hey, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me, honey, because I'm calling the wig out. It had to be done, and I'm the one to do it. All right, so let's get into it. Now, let me pull up my receipt on my own hair. This is a shame. I want y'all to pay attention. Hold up. Let me tell y'all something. I find it also interesting, beloveds, that me, the queen of receipts, has to continue to show receipts, whilst Wig has not shown one. But her foolish followers who are drinking the Kool-Aid clearly still believe what she says. She's shown no proof, evidence, or anything to substantiate any of her foolish claims, nefarious although they are. But they want to still try to come at me and talking about, first of all, I had to call my uncle. Y'all pay attention. I had to, first of all, call my uncle on live because they got in the chat line on the queen, honey. And then now, this is the second one of them, and I think it's really all Wig at the end of the day. But clearly, they try to go in on the queen about my hair. I cannot. Here we go. I got to prove this one, honey. Ain't nothing wrong with my hair. Sorry to disappoint you. All right? Y'all see that? Y'all see the queen and all her glory without her crown? Miss me with it, haters. That's me. Okay, this is the same picture that's on my Instagram as the profile on the Divine Goddess Instagram. All right? Y'all get a load of that. Head on, haters. All right? Head on. The explosion of Wig is not going to stop. In fact, you make it worse. They are just making it worse. Thank you, beloveds. Thank you. I appreciate y'all's kind words. But y'all see how they be hating? It's all so ridiculous. I clearly cannot. So anyway, my work here is done for now, beloveds. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. The Diary of a Mad Black... C-Stan said, the Diary of a Mad Black Wig. I absolutely cannot. Okay, DeCarlo said, make Wig show her natural hair. Yeah, why don't y'all do that? Last I checked, it looked like she was bald at the scalp from wearing all those braids on it, weighing down on the weight of her scalp, all the tension. Please don't go there with me. Okay, Team Wiggins, y'all need to sit down somewhere. All right, Wigs of Hazard. Wig, you are the weakest link, says Jacob. Oh, Wavy don't say bald head, scally wig. I cannot. Lillian said, excellent broadcast, queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay, Rochelle said, wig show your hair, all right? Wigs of Hazard. Y'all are so wrong. I absolutely cannot. Okay, Tracy said, queen of receipts. Thank you, beloved. Sally B said, Jurassic wig. I have to go. Cherokee sitting down said night wig, and I'm talking about night with a K. Game of wigs. Y'all are too much. I love you too, Mr. Hotel. Y'all, 12. Did somebody say 12 wigs a slave? Wigs in the midst. Steven said, y'all got me wigging out. Oh, I can't. Wig gump. Stranger wigs. Hidden wigs. As the wig turns. Jumanji wig. We're gonna stick. Dances with wigs. Oh my God, cannot. Oh, Judah Quinn said, hollow wig. The Wiggy of Oz. Oh my God, I cannot take it. Harlem wigs. Wigorella. The 48 laws. Mr. Hotel said the 48 laws of wig. Ooh, Lord have mercy. I gotta stop. I have got to go. This is too much. Lord of the wigs. The The Pursuit of Happy wigs. I gotta go. Tales from the Wig. Oh my Lord. Y'all are too much. Spider wig too. Oh my God, I cannot. 50 Shades of Wig. Y'all are so nefarious, okay? Woo, honey, I have to go. My stomach hurts too, Eric. My stomach absolutely hurts. Infinity Wig. Wig mania. I mean, I cannot. I'm out of here. A wig's life. The wig courts. Wigs in a blanket. Woo, Lord. Vicki wigs. Y'all are something else, honey. Woo, I cannot breathe. The Wig Files. Tales from the Wig. That's what I just came up with. Unbewiggable. Wigs are us. 3 little wigs. Goldilocks and the 3 wigs. I gotta go. Beetle wig. Y'all are so... I gotta go, beloveds. Thank y'all for tuning in once again. I'm not even gonna look at that nefarious chat. I cannot. I will pass out fooling with y'all. Thank you all for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. Please like, share, and subscribe, okay? Don't forget to follow the Queen on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. You can also follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page and follow me on Twitter at DGoddess5700. I absolutely am done at this point. I need to go lay down and collect myself. Wigtron. Oh my goodness. Y'all are a mess. Everyone, please like and share. I love you all to life. Each one, teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive. And I can't remember what I'm supposed to say. Do something productive and constructive, never destructive. All right, beloveds. Until next time, family, I will talk to y'all all again soon. I mean, though, nefariousness of it all. Woo.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay, miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So